T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello guys and dolls, welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Evening to everyone in the chat. We are, I think, also live on TikTok. I'm only 34% sure that we're actually live on that, so we'll
And
see.
you're the only one who is live on that.
And I'm the only one who is live. StreamYard
If you are.
doesn't stream to TikTok, but
We
I
are the
have
good-looking
got
one,
the
aren't you?
desktop app, which lets me stream the other, the OBS studio thing. So I might be live. I don't really know. It says I'm live.
You're
So
live.
If anyone wants to go on TikTok and
James
make
is
sure
the eye
that's true.
candy. I'm the muscle.
Oh, there we go. Fanatical Fenters. Look at that. I'm live. Hooray! I know how to work things. Right. So I am joined by the international sex appeal that is Carl Fenton.
I thought you were
I'm
describing
joined by the toddler who got his wish to be big, Michael as well. So today we are.
I've got the more end of the deal on that one.
Pardon?
I've got the more end of the deal on that one.
It makes a change.
I just thought once we wouldn't mention how bald Carl is. I thought
That's
that
'cause he's got an
just
atom.
once, just one of these
He's got an
streams
atom.
we just wouldn't mention how bald he was, which to be clear is medically fascinating. If he was born with no hair, he'd have still had more hair than he does now. Figure that out.
Yeah.
So hold on, because I've also got people who are on Facebook and have not registered. So I'm going to keep. I've got like 15 million things I'm going to have to try and keep track of now, which is very upsetting. Mr. Hanshaw, no worries. Right, okay, cool. So ingrowing, exactly. He has minus hair. That's how this is. So we are looking today at the TwoTrees Sapphire Pro, or the SP5 as it's now called. This is an entry-level CoreXY printer, very similar to something like an Ender 5, something like that. It's $399 US. There isn't an affiliate link, so if you go onto YouTube, there's a link there, or you can go onto the TwoTrees official website and you can take a look at it there. But we're going to be opening it up. We're going to be taking a look, putting it together, hopefully getting the first print on. They sent over some filament as well, which is easily the most generic filament that I've ever seen. There's no branding on it at all. It just says
filament.
and it's 3D printing filament. That's it. Just 3D print filament. That's the only information we get.
Keeps the price down.
And if we open it up and we take the filament out, it is just filament. So we're not going to know. We're never going to know what brand that is.
At least they sent a kilo.
They sent 2 kilos actually.
Oh.
So I've got 2 kilos of I don't know. So okay, let's get the box open. So this is an entry-level 3D printer. This is not going to set anybody's world on fire. But if you're just getting into the hobby and you don't want to spend a fortune on a Bamboo Labs P1P or an X1C, or if you just want to kick a laser over, which is what I just did.
So, but also
this
with this,
could very well be the printer for you. So
you can get.
it should be fairly easy to build. Should not be that hard, but I've been wrong before. There's a very nice product manual with a checklist in it. A thank you for purchasing card. These are the instructions. They are the entire instructions.
Brief.
This product manual is... Oh, okay. This product manual is a bit more step-by-step. So if you want all the step-by-step stuff, then the product manual does actually go into detail. If you just want the abridged version, then then you can go by that, which we are not going to read. Inside of here, we have a mini version of the generic filament. Look at that. Just as generic, but smaller. So that's always nice. we have a bag of stuff. So we've got the obligatory printer cable, some bags of bolts. This is the extruder. So this is a direct drive. What's the build volume? So the build volume is, one moment, caller, 300 by 300 by 330 on the Z. It is direct, well, sorry, it's a remotely mounted direct drive. That's a BMG clone there, for anyone interested. It's going to do fine on the vast majority of filaments, but it's worth noting that, that it's not going to be doing your flexibles. This is some cable ties, some TFCE tube, spare nozzle, filament sensor, and the Allen key made out of coffee. Spare nozzle, USB key with an SD card. Just there. Oh.
You can also get an enclosure for this one as well, James.
Can you?
Head screws.
Yeah.
Feet.
So you can
Only
buy
3
the
feet.
Yeah, you get an acrylic case for it. I think it's about $120. So then it's fully enclosed. So you can get an enclosure for this one.
Oh, okay.
So it all goes into the frame, I believe.
Right.
Especially
so
if you wanted to do like ABS.
Oh, these are the bed plates. So we've got bed plates there.
Hopefully this won't take as long as the Lurch did.
Still doesn't work. This is the top section. Pop that down. So you can actually see on there, you can see the motion system. So you can see that we're working with linear rails on Y, linear rails on X underneath here. This does have an X and a Y motor. So if that is the case, rather than A and B motor, I'm not sure if this is a...
Mindtech, you was thinking about getting these, but ended up with 3 second-hand race 3Ds.
Well, we know someone who's selling another one at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good price.
Yeah.
Bloody good price.
3DP UK, thank you very much for the donation, mate. No need to do that. You know that we're always here to support you. Right. Crack on. Let's carry on down here. So we get the bed with an XTC connector on the end of it.
For 3 second-hand race 3Ds, you probably could have bought about 40 of these.
That is a bed insulation piece. This is the build plate, which is an ultra base. So we'll peel that off. So that's just a nice ultra base, which I've no doubt will scratch as soon as we do our first print. The bed is not magnetic, but it does have a sticker on it. This one has a European plug, which we'll immediately throw in the bin. I didn't want yet another project printer, and I wanted something to just work. Man, you should have got yourself a Bamboo. Like, if what you're wanting is just a machine that just does the job. These are the Z rods, or the Z axis. You know, the Z axis rails. So this is all linear rails, which for $399.
It's not bad.
I'm waiting on my SP5 to arrive. I bought it from Banggood for £330. I've 3 upgrades planned already. So, I mean, the main upgrade for me, if indeed you need to do any, because we're going to print this out of the box, is probably moving it to direct drive. So the tool head that this comes with, I'm pretty sure, is a I think they call it, well, basically it's
make sure you do one upgrade at a time, not all 3
I can't remember. It's called a Mark 10, I think. So I think it's pretty much the same as that. So changing it over to a direct drive would give you a little bit more versatility. So we are looking at, so these have got sort of obscured, closed off panels. They look quite nice. They've got locator nuts in them already, so they should go in nice and square. Oh, and the rods are in here as well. Couple of T8 lead screws there. Akuma Mods over on TikTok. Hello. Oh, so it's not a Mark 10. Sorry, so it's not a CR10. It's a, but it's still a Bowden setup with a similar to Mark 10, but a larger heatsink on it. This reminds me actually of the ones you used to get on the Warner House. Reminds me of that. Do you remember that? Was it a D10 you had? I can't remember what it was you had.
D10
that big blue one.
Yeah, was it D5?
Whatever it was. Pardon? Okay, so let's get this out. So this is obviously the base. Pop that down there for the moment so we can take a look at how we're doing here. Yep, that is everything in the box. So box goes away. Right, so I'll bring this up. And I suppose we will refer to the quick guide instructions, just to make sure we do this in some semblance of the right order. Okay. So that's the front. So they go like that. What's in there? Okay, what goes in the bottom then? Let's go back to, there we go, look at that. Well, they all move. So maybe we'll do these one at a time. Pick that up. Right, let's get the bag of bolts out, and the one that's the most amount of bolts, I guess it's those. Here we go. So we got, I'm going to go out a limb and say that it's the M5s. Yes, we'll only do one at a time. Direct drive as planned, then ED3 V6 and cooling. I'm curious what firmware this has when you boot. So I don't know what the firmware is off the top of my head.
Give me a minute. I'll have a look.
Carl, can you look to see if this is, I assume that this is a Marlin.
Yeah.
That it's Marlin.
I think it is Marlin.
It is, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so. Are we right for the M5? Ooh. What about? Whilst I'm screwing in these bits, Mike, do you want to show the ladies and gentlemen what you've been working on?
Little army.
Well, apart from my guns, what have I done recently? Oh, tank. Trying to increase the size of the screen because these are small.
It's a small tank.
It's not a small tank. It's quite a large tank.
There we go.
That's pretty cool.
So it's a mixture of like 5 different files. I just kept adding guns to it. just kept printing out more guns and adding guns to it. I don't think it's actually. I think it's only supposed to have one gun, but mine's got like 6.
Right.
But apart from that, it's been.
You're still on your Warhammer stuff then? You're on your little figures.
I've got to build a shelf.
Only a little shelf.
Got to build a play space yet.
No, it's not going to be a little shelf because I've got a shelf here and I've filled it up. But I've also got more than there's another tank here, I think. So there's another one.
That's pretty cool.
I've got another shelf's worth here ready to paint.
How many miniatures have you got now then you've painted or to paint?
10, 15. Painted about 25 miniatures.
Yeah.
Jesus.
3 tanks. 4 tanks. A small Titan. You know that great unclean one that's got all his guts hanging out, the big fat thing?
Yeah.
I've got another 2 Titans here to do. Another 2 tanks. About 20 more miniatures. But then I've also got like 3 boxes of miniatures here to do as well.
Yeah. I seen on the GK2 group yesterday, someone does the miniatures, like yourself, but he had something like 60 all on the build plate, on top of each other.
Yeah, stacking them.
It was just like, it's impressive what you can do with them. Like, it's mind blowing.
I haven't seen yet how many I can do on the Mega at once. I was printing. We were printing a Titan for something for a video. So James was helpfully logged into my computer, and he was like, "Yeah, I can jam all this on a build plate." So he did, but he used the pre-supported files.
Oh no!
And out of the 30 pieces to this Titan, only like 3 of them printed. But what the pre-supported pieces did do was absolutely tear my FEP to pieces.
Ouch.
Notice he's hiding behind that base now.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you're a crazy person right now.
He would have been sat in his office, wouldn't he, like that, like Mr. Skinner off The Simpsons.
Yeah, and the next day I was like, that all totally failed. There's a reason we don't use pre-supported files. It was like they all failed.
So I'll be honest, I've actually had a great deal of luck with pre-supported files.
I never have.
Like my pre-supported files that I've used from like the vast majority of Patreons that I've used, I've found them to be really good.
I never used pre-supported. I prefer to support it myself.
See, now, like, I think the first page that really had like proper supported files was Photos Mint for me, and they just printed out perfectly.
I've never printed any of his stuff.
Oh, it's incredible, especially the last stuff he's just dropped recently. It's nice.
We do a fair few bits of his when we're testing resin printers.
Yeah,
but I've never actually printed any of his stuff.
Who's that?
Photos Mint.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of photos and stuff. It's so good at showing off like the detail that these printers can.
Well, we squeezed one on the Mini 8KS, didn't we?
Yeah.
We squeezed the bust and the base on the Mini 8KS. I don't know how.
Yeah, hold on.
But
it was this one. Let me see if I can. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Is that Diablo? Oh no. Yeah, it's
like both of them pieces were squeezed on the Mini 8KS in one go, and we can prove it because we time lapsed it as well.
The thing with
for those on TikTok, that was done on the Mini 8KS with Frozen. Really, really good quality.
And what's really impressive about like Photo Mint is when you put it on an FDM printer, it still looks good. you know, you get, you know, obviously resin has better detail and is a bit clearer and a bit finer, but even the FDM files when I printed them look fantastic.
No, Rick, the Lurge still hasn't had its new button.
So, I mean, I'll give a little update on the Lurge whilst I'm doing this. So, for those on TikTok, the question was, the last live we did was the Lurge printer. And so basically, the issue is that when you, so the switch that's on it is not a latching power switch. So, so when you turn it on, it's supposed to then have a little short on the board that means that it stays on when you release the power button. Our one doesn't do that. So either the switch is wrong, or in theory, it's possible that something's wired incorrectly. But if it's wired incorrectly, it shouldn't turn on at all.
I've got
And it does turn on. If you press and hold the button, it all turns on. The extruder gives like readouts and everything. Like it is working. By any definition, it is working. Until you let go of the power button and then it immediately turns off.
So
which I'll admit isn't ideal.
Yeah, I've got some more messages from him to send over to you.
Oh, great.
They said they replaced the switch if you want.
Well, providing they replace it with a switch that works, I don't care.
Yeah, be a good start.
It'd be a good idea to replace the switch, otherwise they're going to get a pretty funky review.
I was going to say, it's going to be a pretty quick review otherwise. It's just literally going to be me going, this doesn't work. See you later.
End credits.
Yeah. I've watched a lot of videos and read a lot of posts on Facebook about the SP5. Apparently the extruder isn't great, nor the wiring on it. Check the wiring is not near anything hot. Well, that's tricky because all the wiring's near everything hot.
Matt German has focus filament. I have to say, focus has got exceedingly quiet since Dora left.
Yeah.
Right, let's take a look at sticking the feet on this while we're here. I have only got 3 feet in this bag. Oh, no, that was the 4th one. Fair enough. I sit corrected. There we go. Just screw the feet on as well, and then we can get this sitting upright.
Does anyone know what the weather's going to be like next week?
Okay. Pardon?
Does anyone know what the weather's going to be like next week?
I don't know. I only get northern weather. It's meant to be warm.
Why would you care, Mike?
Exactly. I want it to be really bad.
Yeah, but you don't go outside.
No, I'm going on holiday.
It's hot next week again.
Is it?
Yeah.
The only problem is my workshop, where I actually work during the day as well. Once, like when it gets hot, once it starts to get hot, or it gets
scorching
in there, like it's really bad. So, oh, that was the first screw dropped. Brilliant. Those on TikTok will more than likely see a reoccurring trend of me just dropping various important screws.
I'm really chuffed with myself. I brought a Neptune 3 off eBay for 80 quid, but the board had blown. Brought the blown chip off eBay for 120. Fitted in and all working now. Oh, bonus.
Nice.
I got to say, Elegoo's latest release of printers they're quite impressive.
So this is the left one. He said. All right, I give up. Is that supposed to lock into something or something? Oh, am I just supposed to unscrew them?
I went to Grand Affected Studios last weekend, and I see a printer there, which I'm not allowed to talk about, but it is the most stunning setup I've ever seen.
Is it a new one? Is it from a usual company? Just a new one coming out?
No, wasn't one I've even heard of.
I'm confused.
But it was printer, curing station, wash station. But the wash station is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah. Well, there's that. What's that expensive brand that does their own?
What, Nexa or Zip?
No, I can't think of the name, but you can only use their resin.
Oh, Formlabs.
Formlabs, yeah, they've got really nice setup as well.
This one wipes the floor with the Formlabs one.
Yeah.
Looks wise, wipes the floor with it.
Nice.
It's the most beautiful curing station I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, that's it, though, isn't it? Because, like, if you look at like all the printers, so say what, 18 months ago, all the resin ones they were just yellow.
So this printer is not a big build plate. It's probably like the size of a Mighty.
Yeah.
The curing station, you could fit large prints off a Mega in it.
Mine CT. Yeah, I have.
Which is pretty large.
Yeah, but once I get printers on in my print shed, it gets too hot. I have to walk out.
It's not too bad for me now because I haven't got any FDM printers. So,
True.
but in the winter it is cold.
Yeah, it's freezing in your but as well, your garage isn't connected to your house anymore. Whereas before, at the other place, the garage was connected to the house, and that meant that it was it got a little bit of a contact high. But
yeah.
You didn't have any problems with your resin printers in the winter, did you?
No.
No.
Yeah, but that's only because you've got a heater out there, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't have it on all night when it's like freezing cold and I'm not in here.
No?
No. Turn it off for night.
Formlabs aren't MSLA, they're laser. Expensive, but definitely,
Yeah, definitely aimed at business.
Still interested to see how this, how the Galaxy ends up, how the Galaxy One from eMake ends up actually doing.
Well, it's not as angry that
They've chilled out a bit, but still not as much as I'd like them to. Like they all just need to go outside and like breathe some fresh air for a while or something because they're all angry. Just so. I've said before, easily the most toxic group I've.
If you don't trust something, just don't back it.
Yeah.
If you don't trust
the
it, don't
most
back it.
toxic group, easily.
There's some truly evil people in that group.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would absolutely agree with it. There really are. There really are some people who are just genuinely and overtly angry about.
Do you remember that one a couple of weeks ago? Where you had like a Google rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the people in there, I think if they see a puppy, they'd punch it. They would.
Or drown a kitten.
Yeah, a whole bag of them.
Yeah,
Not even their kittens.
Yeah.
They'd steal some kittens just to drown them.
Yeah, there's very rarely any positive.
No.
Oh, they never say anything positive. Jeez. Right. I don't
to say something positive would look like you were supporting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand how this is supposed to, like, these just don't fit. And I feel like they're supposed to be like guide bolts. So if I just put the M5s in.
And the thing with eMakes, there's only 1,400 members in there.
Yeah.
For them to be as vocally negative as they are, I'm really surprised. Like
we actually spoke and we were actually glad we weren't being sent one.
Yeah.
because we was like,
And that's not often for us where we're like,
No.
I
because
mean,
you
the
think
reality is
a large scale resin printer like that, you think, yeah, we'll have that. And if they offered me one after they were released, be like, yeah, okay. But what people who have received them have gone through in that group, we were like, we're glad we never got one.
Yeah, because they were so rude. They were rude to people. I think that's what bothered
That's
me as
super
well.
offensive.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, you're just part of the scam." You know, it just, and I was like, "Oh, you guys need to wind your necks in." Like the people who got them are. I mean, okay, I know Joel got one, but the people for the most part who got those printers, they aren't in this
running YouTube channels full time.
Yeah, they aren't in this full time. Hey, Creativity Realm. They aren't in this full time. They aren't, they aren't doing this as their main source of income or anything else. They're not just doing it for the likes.
That printer, then doing 4 solid days testing with it.
So
yeah,
one of the things with eMakes is they didn't actually send all of them to 3D printed content makers. So they actually sent it to a channel called Beers Build, who does restorations of cars that have been in crashes. Because they wanted him to make car parts, replacing something on the dashboard or something like that. And because he didn't have the knowledge, I know Martin spent a lot of time talking with him, trying to help him out with it, because it was his first ever 3D printer.
And I'm not being funny. That's a hell of a printer to start with.
Yeah. Even if
that's where you're starting.
Yeah.
Hi, Vincent.
And then saying that went on the Frozen group. The amount of people who I've just got my first printer. I've bought the Frozen Mega.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're kind of spoiling yourself right away, aren't you?
It's more a case of you're setting yourself up for something. Do you know what I mean? You're jumping right in. It's like saying, "Oh, I bought my first car, and it's a Shelby Cobra," and you're like, "Well, okay. I mean, that's an amazing car, but it does feel like you've probably jumped over a few steps. Figure out how to parallel park first."
Because the thing is, if you do mess up on the Mega and you damage the FEPs are expensive.
Yeah.
They are expensive on that. So if you do screw one up, which I remember when we first got Photons, when they were first come out, we went through quite a few FEPs. We was always piercing it. It was like, I've got to change FEP again.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't really, really annoying every time it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're quite cheap on the Photons because they're small.
So, so our first resin printer, like a lot of people, our first resin printer was the Photon. And the reality is,
and we ran them for a couple of years, really.
Yeah, but what it meant was that our initial exposure to 3D to resin printing was annoying. The Photons were annoying to use. They weren't that easy to set up. Some of them really were a nightmare to level. And they were a real pain.
And the build plates, more often than not, weren't flat.
Yeah, you used to have to sand the build plates, and they were, the first ones that came out were color, and they only lasted a couple of 100 hours, and then you were replacing those eventually, and that was a pain. And everything was a pain. Everything was hassle. Everything on them was difficult. And as well, there really wasn't that much of a community, because for the most part, most people, because their build volume was so small, didn't see them as particularly useful.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were like, well, that's not the cleanup or whatever. It's just, it's not for me, which is fine. But it meant that the community to begin with was really small. And as we've established with many printers, community is everything. The Bamboo Labs group is getting a bit Like, I'm not liking what they're doing. There's been many a time where I've witnessed a conversation on the Bamboo forum, and I'm like, that's very Pruchery. That attitude is very Pruchery, where they've gone, oh, it's user error, your fault. You know, this is you not knowing how to set up your printer or whatever. And even if that's true, which it is in some cases, how's that a helpful comment to make? You know, it's like going into a car enthusiast forum and someone going, how do I access the battery to be able to change the battery on my car? And everyone just going, oh, well, if you've killed the battery in your car, you figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Mike, why is your wife messaging me now?
Is she?
Yeah, she's texting me on WhatsApp.
This is awkward.
Oh,
She
that's
hasn't messaged me,
hurtful.
FYI.
That's hurtful. I'm not repeating that. She wants me to repeat something really awful. I'm not going to repeat that.
Surprised she didn't just come in here and say it. Go on.
Poke her in the door. I don't like your face. Until I met you, I didn't know how many wrong ways a person could breathe. And I've counted 7 since I've started this conversation.
She may have the ump.
She may have the ump.
I said, should we go and pack the suitcases? She went, okay then. I went upstairs, got a T-shirt, then just immediately left.
Yeah, that does sound annoying, to be fair.
And I feel like all I did was trick her into doing the suitcases. So it made
Not really a trick. I mean, she's been doing your suitcase for the last... She did your suitcase when you went to Germany.
Probably.
Did you pack your own suitcase?
She didn't even come. I'm just putting these corner braces on, and then I think the next thing is getting the top piece on it. It's one of those ones where when you see it, first of all, it looks a little bit intimidating, but actually it is really simple to put this together. Yeah. It's not hard. Right, you've told me to install the roof, but when we install the roof, are you going to tell me which way, where the motors are supposed to be? Are the motors supposed to be at the front or at the back? Does it have a front written on it? It does not. Well, that looks like... Right, well, I'm going to say that's the way it goes on then. But then these are at the front. So that implies it goes at the front. Okay, we'll do it that way. Nothing like just guessing.
Oh, dear me. Joe Biden's trips out in public.
Probably
this is incredibly difficult to get on. Oh. Ow.
That's a great noise.
Oh, that was really terrible. I nearly lost my whole hand then. And that's my good hand. That's the hand I use for all my waving. Oh, this is really difficult to get on. I probably shouldn't have installed the brackets as solidly as I did before doing this. I've made my life considerably harder than it's needed to be. Oh. We're on 3. We're just not on... There we go. Cool. That was crashy, wasn't it? Right.
I suppose, Rick, if you was... This is a cheap printer. If you was to ship this made, you're then shipping it in a crate.
Oh, yeah, you're shipping a fortune.
Yeah.
Absolute fortune. As I say, it's not that it's bad to build or anything like that. The only thing, all I was saying was, it's just when you see a printer that's completely in parts, it just looks really intimidating to somebody who's not built printers before, and they look at it, take one look at it, and go, "Oh yeah, I already know that I can't build that, or I already know that that I can't do that," and they sort of defeat themselves before they even start. But actually, I would say that to get that frame together, that's been what, half hour?
40 minutes. 40 minutes from start. Well, from start of the live stream to now, it's 40 minutes.
Yeah. So that goes into.
Have you got any further with your Voron upgrading it?
Yeah, so the upgrades are done. I'm just playing about with. I did a clicky probe upgrade, and the clicky probe upgrade hasn't gone as smoothly as I'd like it to have, I suppose. So I'm having to play about with some things to get it to work. Basically, at the moment, the probe that's on the tool head is just too low. So I need to figure out how to sort that out, and then I'm good to start printing.
Yeah, it'd be good to see that printer back up and running.
I'll do a video on it when it's done, because the upgrades I've done to it make it it's a really nice Voron. Like, I know that everybody likes their own, but I really like mine.
Yeah, someone posted a picture yesterday, and he's called his Skittles, and it's multicolour, and it looks impressive, but I would have the patience to do all different colours. But it looks nice.
The tool heads, and then we've got, that's for the bed. This is the. You said, yeah, that's the sensor there. Is there another one going into that? I feel like there should be. I'm probably jumping ahead like 9 steps. It's one of my favourite things to do, is just arbitrarily jump ahead for no reason.
Just leap blindly.
Yeah, just a complete and utter disregard for any of the order that they've very clearly picked for a reason, of me just going, I'm going to do this bit now.
My Voron switch wire is still living under the stairs. Hardly ever use it.
So that's surprising. So, okay, so hold on. So the Voron switch wire, that's the CoreXY.
Yeah.
And it's the one where it looks like a Cartesian, but it isn't, because it's belt driven. And I'm surprised that you don't use that more, because Rick, I'm assuming that you built yours better than I built mine. I think we can all agree the way that I built mine was wrong. like there's no two ways about it. Whatever way it was that I did it was incorrect. I didn't do it right. All right, so we've got those.
How's the rat rig? Is that nearly ready?
The rat rig, I need to sort out the tool head, and then we need to sort out the side panels. They're the thing, really. It's getting it so that the thing is with a printer like the rat rig, it's a real waste having that much build volume and then not properly enclosing it so that you can do ABS and things like that.
Yeah.
It's it's an expensive machine to just have printing PLA, and frankly, it's a bit of a waste. So I need to get it. There's only a few more things I need to do to the tool head, and then I can start playing about with it properly, I think.
Well, I'll get you to do some Voron parts for me then when you're all set up. I might get myself a Voron.
Well, I mean, you say that. I mean, I've done Voron parts on the bamboo.
Yeah.
They came out absolutely
They were beautiful.
stunning. Yeah, they were perfect.
Yeah.
Those parts on that, the parts, my V-Core is my main printer now. Even that's quite surprising, Paul, because I know you were a bit of a, you were not keen to make that your.
So Rick says when he got his P1P, Rick says when he got his P1P, everything else started gathering dust.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, I'll just stop holding that then.
I think if I was to ever get, if I was to ever get an FDM printer now, it'd only be because I had a bamboo.
Yeah. If they started doing a larger bamboo, I'd actually, for the first time in a long time, I'd part with my money for that.
Yeah.
I'd part with my money for a larger build volume bamboo. The issue would actually be how much the price. That would be the actual issue for me, because I know that printer would not be cheap. I know that they would that would end up. It would be a lot, and that would annoy me, I think.
And it comes down to, because the way their printers are, it's going to be expensive to ship because they're already built.
Yes, but it's also, it's the nature of their machines. Their machines are, they're just a different animal from the kind of machines that we normally, that we've had with other things. They're just, they are just so good that it's borderline scary how good those bamboos are out the box.
Well, them parts you did for the Voron, they actually looked injection molded. They were that good.
It cost a lot more for your bamboo because soundproofing your print room isn't cheap. I will hands up and say that the Bamboo X1 carbons, they are not perfect machines, right? They're not perfect machines. And I want to be really clear, I'm not a fanboy about bamboo. I am open and honest about the flaws that I think the printers have and the flaws I think the company has. Their support wrapper is not great. They do not do particularly well with that. They have some pretty wide tolerances, and we work in a hobby where the reduction of tolerances down to a very, very fine amount is what we're all aiming for. But something like warpage on a bed, most people would have very, very, very low tolerances for what they would allow warpage wise. Bamboo's excuse is their tolerances are high because ultimately they think their machine compensates for it in a really good way, and as a result they feel they don't need to worry so much about that. And I profoundly disagree with that approach. Our hobby is all about reducing tolerances down to such a low level, and they aren't really interested in doing that. Not really. They're just sort of they're perfectly content with their tolerances being good enough.
Yeah, there is a lot of issues, isn't there, with them? And if you go on,
again, I mean, I'll be clear. I have not had mine has been printing a lot, and I have not had any.
Yours has really pretty much non-stop been printing, apart from the odd week.
There is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not printing at the moment. I'll admit that. But that's just because I've really not sort of nailed down what I want my next project to be. So I just haven't. I just haven't figured out what I want it to be yet.
On Twitter, there's a lot of issues at the moment. People are having problems with the AMS, which isn't the printer itself, but they're having problems with the AMS. I think, again, it comes down to they've grown so big so quick.
Yeah.
How do you prepare a team to deal with that?
Yeah. And I don't know the answer.
Because you can look at
they've done an awful lot of software updates, so they are actively supporting the machine. Some of those software updates feel like they are to hide or mask a couple of hardware things.
Yeah.
So that's not great. Well, that's stupid. How am I supposed to do that one?
And the thing is, you look at some of the companies that are out at the moment, you know, like Creality and stuff like that. Their customer
Well, the
support.
Creality K1 is already an absolute nightmare. Like we haven't got one.
Yeah.
And every single influencer I've spoken to, and I do
James,
speak to a few,
James,
yeah.
Funky Cows just said the bit that holds the bed is upside down.
Yeah. Good spot.
Probably could have read that comment sooner.
Yeah, you could have done. Anyway, as I was saying, I know 4 content creators that have had K1s. One of them's had the K1 Max, and all of them have had really quite significant issues with their K1.
Yeah.
Quite significant issues. Every single one of them, to the point as to which they have had other machines shipped out. They've had spares, repairs, parts. They've had chats with the engineers about this, about the issues that they've had, and all sorts of other stuff. And I think what bothers me about it is Creality seem to know about the issues. They seem to know that it's got really significant problems, and they're still sending these machines out. And it smells to me very much the same as all of their other machines, which is
you do the testing for us.
Yep, get the machine out as quickly as possible, and then get the community to mop up the mess.
Yep.
And that's what it reeks of to me. I don't like the way that they have dealt with more than one creator, where creators have been told that they aren't allowed to publish anything negative, that they need to take down videos, all sorts of things, and that's really, really an alarm bell for me.
Yeah, Rick's right there. Anything with Creality, you wait for the Pro or the K1 Mark II, because then they've had more time on it. They've put a different sticker on it, worked on all the issues.
Well, I mean, the thing to bear in mind, and I would say, you know, just something to bear in mind when it comes to Creality stuff, is Creality don't design any of their stuff, right? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Like, they don't design any of their own stuff anymore. They're buying designs and then they're publishing them. And the problem with doing that means that they knew their Ender 3 inside and out. Their engineers were the ones who designed it. You know, they knew everything about it. But that isn't going to be the case with things like the K1.
Yeah. Now that new resin printer is doing quite well out there.
I'll tell you now, I will not have a printer, FDM or resin, that prints on Creality Cloud. I won't have that printer. So if that's...
You don't have to use the cloud, though.
So you did on the Hallett series, though, didn't you?
No.
Yeah, on the Hallett series.
No. I've got a Hallett Plus here. I never used the cloud on it.
No?
No. No interest
on the Hallett. It was like you had to use Creality Cloud.
No, I think that was when it first came out, wasn't it? When Matt unboxed one.
Matt did have one, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I've never had to use the cloud on mine. It's only if you want to like send a file off their Creality Cloud to the printer to do it. I don't do that because I slice my own. Because again, I've been really ignored on the CoreXY Cloud app about illegal files being on there. Again.
What, as in pirated files?
Yeah, Clock Springs again.
Right.
It's just annoying.
See, the thing is people like Clock Springs, he gives so many. Do you hear Bamboo Labs tried to patent designs which had Voron plastered all over them? Yes, I did read that. I don't know how much I read into it, simply because I just don't know where the source is from. Like, I don't know where that, I don't know who found the leak, and I don't know who posted it. So I'm taking that with a grain of salt, just because I don't know where it came from. So I don't know what the intentions were from whoever published that little tidbit.
Well, Anycubic had an issue this week, didn't they? Because they were with Prusa Slicer with their new printers coming out. The
XLs? I did see a post saying the XLs had finally started shipping.
No, they hold on, let me just find it, because they where is it? I don't want to say and get it wrong, because I'm quite good at doing that. So something to do with their software open source incident that caused confusion and disappointment. So they used, I think it was printables or Prusa Slicer, and they had to put out a big heartfelt apology because Joel,
hi Luna,
Nerd, brought it up. I know Prusa mentioned something about it.
So Luna, this is it's a TwoTrees SP5 Sapphire Pro. It's a CoreXY, but like an entry-level CoreXY. Sorry, TikTok questions. Carry on.
So yeah, they had to issue an apology
this
this week.
goes on this side because I said so. So that must go like that. I am making so many assumptions here with a level of confidence that I can honestly say I have not earned. Like, the cavalier attitude that I am taking as to how this goes together is just is absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's it, Paul.
That I would think I've got the necessary skills to just go, nah, I'm just going to figure this out. Like,
that was like the other week when you just started drilling into the Voron.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about it. You didn't even think, should I do this or should I be doing this? You picked up the drill and just started drilling.
I did, yeah. It was it was such a level of undeserved confidence of just I'm just going to do this now, and just started doing it. And as I was doing it, my brain was like, I don't think you should be doing this. Like, I don't think this is for you.
Yeah, you just went, I think I just need to drill this. You picked up the drill and just went at it.
Yeah. A really undeserved.
You didn't even give it
level of confidence.
You didn't even give it 3 seconds full.
I didn't. No, I
very
absolutely
impulse.
did not.
You have no impulse control, do you, James?
Pardon?
Impulse control.
I've got loads of impulse control. Probably. As long as absolutely nobody puts that to the test at any point, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I was drilling on the Voron. I can't even remember what it was that I was doing. But I do remember that as I was doing it, my brain went, "You shouldn't be doing this."
Oh God, Rick's changing the subject here. He's changed the subject. Funny how a gopher started Philip Schofield and a gopher has now ended it.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that gets people restricted. So I'm probably not gonna start going in on. I'm probably not going to start weighing in on that.
Oh God. Oh.
That's the sort
you'll end up in the chat. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the sort of thing that gets people demonetized really quickly. Just weighing in on weighing in on how much of a sex pest he is. Like,
oh, it's hilarious, especially after what happened with his brother, weren't it?
Yeah. It obviously runs in the family.
Yeah, it's in the DNA.
or Chase is in the family at least.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. The whole thing is just. I think the thing that we're going to get into it because why not? The whole thing with that Philip Schofield thing is his entire defense seems to be what I was doing was ill-advised but not illegal. And it's like, dude, if your moral benchmark is so low that all you can do is say, oh yeah, what I did didn't technically break the law, like, you're gross.
Wasn't that the defence that American football player in the 90s used when he said he never killed his wife?
Oh, O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson. Wasn't that the defence he used?
Yeah.
No, I think the defence he used was he didn't do it.
No, he admitted to some. He admitted to some stuff, but said like that wasn't illegal. That was his defence.
A high-speed chase, which is tricky to have not done it because he was in a Ford Bronco that had his name on the back of it,
so and he was also on all the news.
Yeah,
the news were following it.
It's mad, isn't it? Because like
apparently his brother Timothy has been quoted as saying, "As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a brother."
It's crazy because like there's been a massive like issue, hasn't there, with like celebrities in in TV, without mentioning any names really. It's just crazy.
Like, I think the problem is once you get to and I'll be clear, I don't think this is exclusive to television presenters because I think there's plenty of influencers, social media stars, and movie stars. I mean, just look at how far R. Kelly got. Like, I think there is.
I actually sent you something on Instagram earlier of Dave Chappelle.
Oh God! Right,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Dave Chappelle, so I'll watch that later.
Do an impression of R. Kelly singing an R. Kelly song.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has somewhat changed the words.
Right.
Right. Only.
But I think there does seem to be high-speed chase. It was 34 miles an hour. Well,
can't remember. It was a long time ago.
It was quite a long time ago. Yeah. But
I remember when it happened. Everyone in this country went, "Who's O.J. Simpson?"
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah, a lot of people did.
No one ever heard him.
Huh? We've no idea who that is, and they were like, "He's one of our biggest American football stars," and we were like, "Yeah, you played that wrong." Yeah, yeah.
Rugby with pads. Oh, it's nuts.
I've been so blasé. I haven't looked at I don't even know where the book is. I threw it away in disgust after Funky Cow corrected.
Here we go. Another joke now. Rolf Harris's ashes are the only ashes Australia doesn't want back.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, that's funny. I thought I could just do that.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
Oh.
Come on, there we go. Right. I can't remember the last time that I put. I can't remember the last time I actually put wheels on a 3D printer. Like, this does have a real throwback feel to it. Like, everything on it is just really. Like, I'm gonna actually. Like, I don't. This hasn't got an automatic bed leveling sensor, so this is literally going to be me. Like, I'm actually going to have to level a bed again, which I've probably not done. Oh, you said immediately throwing that on the floor, which I've not done in ages. Oh, come on now.
It's 300 by 300, Matt.
We'll stick this on. With all this Philip stuff, Holly's website has gone offline. That can't be a massive shock. I didn't even know Holly Willoughby had a website. What's her website for? Come on. Nope. No. Oh, that's a terrible noise. There we go. I can't actually remember the last time I put an ultra bass on something either. Like, it's almost always magnetic beds these days. All right, plug in the XTC connector, plug in the thermistor, and then all we've got left is tool head fitting. So tool head. Oh, now that is interesting, isn't it? So what? Tool head faces the other way. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Also, how are you supposed to... Oh, what do you mean? So...
I've got a step ladder, James.
Have I what? The what?
He has got a tiny little step ladder with just 2 little stairs on it.
You look like you're hanging on the edge of a cliff there.
Well, in my defence, it's a very tall desk. I can't be held responsible for that. I mean,
Well, you are, because we built it.
Well, that just means I blame Mike. So, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but let's see. Sort of. So here, there is a notch for all of the electronics to go through, but all the electronics are already in the tool head. So, how does that work? Like,
does it not just plug in somewhere?
I don't get how you're supposed to fit that. All right, we'll go back to it, I suppose.
Mr. German says, "How tall are you? 3'1".
I mean, there's a number of photographs showing just how tall I am at your wedding. So, right, okay, so that's fine. So I've just jumped the gun a bit on assuming where
Apparently
go.
Apparently it's for the Bowden tube.
For the Bowden tube. Okay. Well, there's another interesting point then. So, is there bolts that go on the end of that? Right. I see that that's where the locators are, but are there... Oh, okay. Yeah, I see how it mounts now. I mean, the last time I saw you, you were 6 foot. Right, well, I'm still 6 foot. Like, I don't know why you think that would be a thing that would change about me. 3DHP, hello, mate. Thank you, too, for coming. Yeah, Mike was really excited about coming. It's all he's talked about since we got back, to be honest. Was how much he enjoyed being a part of it, like.
Took so long to get there.
It did take quite a long time to get there, and then even once we were there, we had extra chores, so that was fun. Because I'd forgotten my shoes.
Yeah. And your waistcoat.
And my waistcoat, yeah. And by the time I left, it was I'd lost a lot of the will to live as well. I just remember that woman coming up to us in the town square, the old woman who just came up to us and said, do you know That's the biggest war memorial in the country.
No, it was Matt who said that.
You seen Nelson's column? Like
It was
Nelson's
Matt who
column
said that.
mappings, he just went, "We don't count that," and walked off. It's just like, I was like, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, that was really funny. That was probably one of the only highlights of the trip, to be honest. Just that woman being like, "Oh yeah, we don't count that." Just left.
We don't count any that are taller.
Yeah, we just don't count the taller ones. Well, everything's taller if you don't count the taller ones. Like, what's the point of that? Right, so Bowden tube goes in there. This comes up. Oh, okay, hold on. So then we've got this, which must be this one. There are a couple of screws that are missing from my tool head, which is annoying, and I didn't drop them before we start that slander. There don't seem to be any spares of these particular ones, which seems very typical of my life.
I've got to say, you know that photocentric trip you did?
Yeah.
They are some big machines.
Yeah. The Titan is an absolute mammoth.
When you buy the Titan, it comes with its own forklift.
I bet it does. It is crazy.
Genuinely.
It's like a forklift you wheel around to get the build plan on and off. You get your own forklift.
Jesus. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Don't know how much it is. We were too scared to ask.
Yeah.
It was huge. I couldn't really, like on the TV, it doesn't really give like the proper size perception, does it really? But it looks.
It doesn't
enormous.
give you the real impression of just actually how huge that printer was. It was massive.
How much resin was it to fill that?
I think he said it was 12 liters just to be able to print.
Yeah,
something like that.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Do you keep the forklift when you have to take the build plate off?
You what?
Do you get to keep the forklift truck so you can take the build plate off?
Yeah, the forklift truck comes with it.
It comes with it.
It's part of the package. It's like getting a wash and cure station with like part of the package is you get a forklift.
Oh, can you imagine me saying
you don't get a wash and cure station, which I challenge is also pretty essential.
Yeah.
That would be a big wash and cure station for that.
It would be a nightmare of a wash and cure station, yeah.
Yeah. Just go do it down in the local river.
Any chance I'd see if you can get...
I'd say zero chance.
Any chance I'd see if you can get the new kit from the guys who did the end of 345 belt kit? They've released a new one. So I've seen they've released a new one as well.
But we have got no desire to buy another ender.
Well, the new one isn't a conversion kit, I don't think. The new one is a the new one is is like it does both 45 degrees and it does
it never ends.
I think it's still a kit.
Well, it might be, I don't know.
Is it called the Never Ender?
No, it's not. But that's a wasted opportunity that it isn't.
Just got no desire to buy another ender.
But that's only because you don't like FDM anymore.
No, I don't like enders.
Well, Mike doesn't. No, I still print FDM all the time. Like, I genuinely think that if this print's all right, I'll use this. Like, it's a nice.
But if I was going to part with cash for a video, it wouldn't be buying an ender.
No, that is fair.
But you'd need something because obviously resin prints quicker, doesn't it? So if you got an ender, you'd be waiting a month for the parts to print to put the resin bits on with it.
Right, so that's going to go there.
Would you not need a forklift license to use the printer?
No, because it's not an actual forklift. It's a
It's not a driving forklift.
Yeah.
It's more like a pump up pallet truck, but it's on like a ratchet thing. So you wouldn't need a forklift license to be able to deal with it.
That's disappointing. But if it's on your land, you don't need a license.
True.
Yes, you do, because you'd be a commercial premises.
Not if you're the only person there.
Yeah.
I mean, true. Yeah, if you were the only person there, you're just on your own printing in a warehouse with one printer at the end of it, like Bart Simpson when he buys that warehouse at auction.
Oh yeah, yeah, with Millhouse as the security.
Yeah. They just go there and smash some windows for a while, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
I guarantee you, I'd come back and the whole thing will have collapsed, and I'd be like, "Mike, you were supposed to watch it," and he'd just go, "Yeah, I did watch it. I watched it tip, and then I watched it fall all the way over, and then it was gone." But I saved the pallet truck.
Yeah.
Which I guarantee Mike would be riding on like a weird scooter, just round the warehouse. Right, so first thing to check on this is whether or not it is a switching power supply, which it implies that it's an auto switching one. It does say 110 and 240 volt. So in theory, let's grab my kettle cord.
So people who have had the SP5 with mods are running at 150 to 200 millimeters a second with clean prints.
Right, so just as an FYI to anybody who's potentially thinking of getting one of these Z motors they've got a synchronization belt. You need to take the base off, access the power supply from underneath to check the PSU. Do I really though? It does not auto change.
I don't think your missus would be too happy.
Right, I'll check it.
I don't think your missus would be too happy if you trip all the electric again this week again.
Well, that's really none of your business. So,
just to be clear, she's never happy with him, whether he's done that or not.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah, she always says really hurtful things about my appearance.
How's the TV anyway?
How's the what?
She like, how's your TV?
She's still really angry about that. So I bought. I go onto a website called John Pye Auctions. I'll give them a free shout out. They've never done anything good for me, so that seems fair.
No, everything they've done for you has ended up badly.
Yeah,
she gets angry every time you buy something.
John Pye Auctions does. They do like X-display, returns, things like that. I got
where companies have been liquidated and gone bankrupt.
Yeah, like liquidated, bankruptcy stuff, all that kind of thing. They're called John Pye Auctions, PYE. Hold on, let me just check this. It was on 230 anyway. Still, you know that if I hadn't checked, it definitely wouldn't have been. So anyway, so I bought a 75-inch JVC smart TV to replace the TV that's in my lounge. The TV that's in my lounge was a 65-inch TV. Now, I didn't think that there was that much of a difference, really, between a 75-inch and a 65-inch TV. It turns out there is. And the amount of difference is my wife's last nerve that I've been working on, apparently. like I've been getting on her last nerve for a while now, and this was the thing that really tipped her spiritually over the edge. So So she was really angry about it. She's still really angry about it. But the
I gotta say,
TV, to be clear, the TV that I got, the TV
It
that
does
I
look
got,
nice.
Rick's pot. Rick's pot. I've heard of them. My old boss had the bailiffs round, and all of his shop ended up on one of their auctions.
yeah. So to be clear, this JVC TV ended up costing me, the final hammer price with all the fees was £210, and then I had to pay £105 for shipping for them to ship me the TV because they were up in Nottingham, I think, and I couldn't go and collect it.
Well, even if you could, the amount of diesel you'd spend would have been more than 105
I was
quid.
going to say, yeah, the diesel that I'd have spent going up there to get back.
Yeah.
I drive a 3-litre Jeep, so
Diesel's
if I drive
just
to the end of
dropped
my
though,
road,
hasn't
it
it?
cost me £115.
Yeah, supermarkets have dropped it, haven't they?
Yeah, like 18p.
Wow.
Wasn't that after the RAC came out and said diesel users are being overcharged?
Yeah.
We should come out and say it more often, to be honest.
Right, okay.
Especially seeing as, like a few years ago, the government told everyone you should go out and buy diesels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Well, the good news is it turns on. If we go to tools, home all.
Oh,
Cool.
That didn't work on the first go, did it? So what happened there? Oh, is it literally that I've put that on the wrong? Oh God, I hate myself. Oh, that's fine. I'm pretty sure I've just put the sensor up the wrong way, which is really annoying. Pop that like that. Did you see when you went down to see Ground Affected, Mike? Did you see his little tank?
Yeah.
You did. Was it cool?
And his new tank as well.
Oh, and he's done a new one.
He's doing a new one now, yeah.
Right. There we go. Learn a lesson from that.
so apparently some Facebook users put, so guys, the machine's nice, James is just backwards.
That's fair. That's a fair comment. Hurtful, but fair.
Quite a good description.
Oh, it's Martin saying that anyway. No one listens to Martin.
I'm looking on that John Pye now. They got hoverboards for £8.
Yeah. Shame that almost no one will ship them to you because they'll catch fire.
Well, yeah. It's not too far, Nottingham. 2 hours for me. Ooh, air purifier for £42.
So they are so genuinely, it's a brilliant site. If you're a landlord, it's one of those little tank. We're still talking about.
No, so Ground Affected.
For years, it costs almost nothing to produce diesel. It's a waste pipe byproduct from petrol. Yeah, problem is that they charge it. The thing is something is only. It's only
a waste material if it has no value.
Yeah, and it has loads of value. So unfortunately, they can pretty much charge whatever they want.
2 for 1.
Yeah. All right, that home works. And that home works. And then, well, now, why are you moving in the wrong... Oh, okay. Well, we find out I put the plates on the wrong way around. Okay.
Sounds like an old motorbike starting that.
Yeah, I think to be fair, I think one of the, I think one side is significantly, one side's just higher than the other is. So I just need to loosen this off so that I can take this one down a bit. So the Z motors are on a linked via a belt. So so they are going to be really hard to like to get them perfectly level. So I'm just trying to. Anyone else hear feedback? I think, to be fair, that was just the printer crackling. Right, try one more time. It's definitely wrong now. Bit too aggressive on that side, I think. Okay. I can hear what sounds like crickets in the background. Can you? Oh, is that your dehumidifier, Mike? Yeah. Yeah, there's always one spoiling it for everybody else. Right, let's try and leveling that out.
I've had it for so long now that I just don't even notice it when I'm sitting here.
Oh,
is that one of them
I
things?
noticed it whenever we're on Facebook calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one you put up, what, like a year ago?
Yeah, they're not bad, are they? They do a good job.
Yeah. Mine has got louder, though.
You can take the fan cover off, to clean the dust
Hi,
out.
Alien Destination.
I've never even looked at it. Like,
yeah, if you go on the top, you can twist it. I think it's anti-clockwise, and the grey cover will come off.
I'm just going to lower this Z. That's probably too much. And we'll try this again. Well, we're at 1.5 hours and
it is a little dusty in there.
Yeah. It'd just be resin.
Homo.
No, it's sanding. That's what's done it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if that one works. So hold on. Right, things definitely need to get cranked down. Crank down a lot. Okay, so that is everything there. Let's try one more time. X. X. Yeah. Y. Yeah. And then there we go. Right, that's homing. So let's do some leveling. It's assisted leveling, but it's still going to be with a piece with the old piece of paper. So it should. Oh, it's home in first. Hold on. Oh, it's home in Z twice. That's really annoying. Come on.
There's a chances are, Funky Cow, we won't be keeping this printer.
Yeah, I've not really got a space for it in the workshop, if I'm honest. But then that, I mean, saying that, it really does depend on how well it prints. Like if it prints amazingly well, then you know, maybe I'll be tempted to keep it. Who knows? There we go.
But the size of this printer would mean you're either going to get rid of your Voron or your Atmig.
Yeah, neither of those things are happening. So
Exactly. Funky
Cow, you need to get a BL Touch for auto leveling. So sorry, by assisted leveling, what I mean is on the screen, you can tell it to move to the corners you need to, so that you can adjust the bed.
Can you adjust the Z on this one as well? Can you then?
You can adjust the Z stop, but you won't be able to adjust that. You won't be able to do like a live Z adjuster or anything like that. Like you won't be able to adjust the Z offset because it's not got a probe that'll tell it where the Z is.
No.
So we've given printers away to people, schools, maker spaces,
random people on the streets.
Sometimes we just say, does anyone want one? Like, we try and beckon people in.
They did that with Matt German. He won one and got rid of one. Well, got rid of two, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then
it's like you've won a printer. Here's a selection. Do you want any of these as well? Yeah. It's like when you come down in the summer, Carl, if you think you're going up empty-handed, you can think again.
Yeah, I can leave my kids. I'll leave my kids then.
They can just make their own way home.
Yeah. I don't want no northern kids sticking about.
They don't say thank
pies all the time.
Pies. Yeah, my kids don't eat pies. Fussy little shit.
Telling me how much they can't believe it's not butter. Well, it isn't butter, all right? It's not that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because I want the lurge if you're getting rid of it. I think Carl called dibs on the lurge, mate. So you might be out of luck on that one. Feels like a really pathetic little.
That is a pathetic spool holder.
Spool holder.
Well, you know, like I am in the process of getting rid of some printers to make room. But if you know, at the time when the lurge is actually working and I haven't got room, you can always do a little giveaway.
Well, unless you want to spend 14 hours holding a power button at the moment, I don't think it's one you really want.
Just to give you a kick in the teeth, we'll take it all apart first to ship it.
Yeah. And then you can do all the self-tappers. That'll be fun for you. Because they're really repeatable the second time round. Right. Let's say this is a super generic PLA, but it's not even. It has got a filament run out sensor, so there's at least that.
That'll work for 10 minutes.
To be honest, I just disconnect mine now. Don't even use them.
Yeah, either that or I just leave them hanging. I just put a piece of filament in it and just leave it in it.
That's what I do. Don't even.
They just never last.
They tend to pull through. That's the problem, don't they?
Yeah. And like when it does run out of filament, it engages like, I don't know, 40 seconds later. So it kind of defeats the object.
Right, let's see about heating the tool head up. Preheat. There's the bed heat. Bed heat.
Looks like the filaments pulled off the spool there.
Oh, yeah. It's because I'm feeding it through. There's going to be a fair amount to do to this. There's going to be calibrating E-steps. I've already got the heated brass inserts for the lurch if I get my mitts on one. So honestly, I really can't figure out why on earth they did that machine and they chose to use self-tapper screws. Like, they're just so terrible. That's the good part about the run-out sensor on the V-Core. You can just switch it. I don't even think I've got one on mine. I don't think I've got a filament sensor on mine. Or if I have, I'm certainly not using it. Oh, this needs a PID tune. That's overshot by 20 degrees. Whether or not this is gonna come off the spool again. Yeah, I can already tell this is going to be annoying. Oh, good news. Or have I just mounted it upside down? Yeah, I think I've mounted it upside down. That's very annoying. Yeah, I have. Okay, fine. Right, okay. Well, we're not going to do a first print tonight because that means I've got to get the slicer loaded up. This clearly needs a bit of calibration on it before we can do anything. So I think with that, guys and dolls, we're probably going to call it. We're probably going to call it a night on that one. But I mean, an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes to get that machine together to a point where it's near enough ready to go. I don't think that's appalling for this size and this price point. This machine is only £399, right? So you have to think of this in terms equal to what it actually is. So you can't compare this to a P1P or to whatever. You're comparing this to the likes of an Ender 5 or maybe an Ender 7. Carl, how much is an Ender 7 these days?
It's still about 400 quid, 500
Are they
quid.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
But yeah.
Well, on good news, Corality have actually sending me the replacement parts after pestering them for 6 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. That's really decent of them.
Yeah, only 6 months. And the Ender 3's getting a new main board because, you know, that fried.
Right.
But yeah. But in the group, in the Facebook group, I'll put the link in for the casing for this as well so someone can have a look at it if they want.
Oh, what? Because for the what's name?
SP5.
To make it enclosed, you mean?
Yeah. I'll put it
I
in there.
think, do you know what? The problem is that we, as in me and Mike, have become really quite spoiled with our printers, right? We are using bamboos and V-cores and Vorons and everything else. But the reality is that not everybody has Voron and V-core money to
Which
spend.
is why we still do reviews on these printers.
Yeah, and it's important to make sure that we also cover other machines, you know, and this is not a bad little machine. It's got a good build volume, and obviously I don't know how it prints yet, but it's effectively a Mark 10 clone on the hot end. So providing that we get the extrusion right, then I think you're gonna have a fairly serviceable and a pretty decent machine once you're, once everything's all together and you've got a tuned profile. This could be a good candidate for perhaps converting to Clipper, which we may very well do. Could be a good candidate for all sorts of stuff. So I think this is a really good machine to buy, and then maybe even look at modifying it. There's things like, so there's access to the board. If you just take off there's a little hatch here with 4 screws, and you can immediately access the main board. So you haven't got to flip it over and go onto the insides. You could, with relative ease, you could convert this to direct drive. There's an awful lot you could do to this, and it's a pretty good platform to build from. It's all linear rails. It's dual Z. It's got, it's got its touch screen and everything. Everything's already there for you. It's a pretty solid frame. It's not flimsy or anything. I think it's a really good. I've just realised I'm going to need to move the power cable to the back when I get mine, unless I can find a right angle kettle plug. Well, there are right angle kettle plugs that you can get, but yes, the kettle plug for this is on the side.
Yeah.
So if that's a problem,
the thing is, it's like you've said before, though, like the Ender 3 as a printer is fantastic for getting into this hobby, and people do convert them into a Voron with the kits or a belt printer. So
what version of Marlin is it? Let me have a look and see if it says. Hold on.
So Rick, on the Ender 3 S1, they made 2 boards, but only for the Ender 3 S1, because Creality do things properly. It's just, I've got a couple of the 427s in here.
Just says firmware version 2.3.1, but I don't know if that's Marlin version or if that's the firmware version of the screen.
Yeah, they've got a section on their website with their firmware. You can update. I don't know which one is.
I don't know whether or not there's a decent amount in the screen that's configurable that you can play about with. I know the Ender 2 Pro, they released 2 different boards as well.
Yeah. They did.
Creality pretty much just send out whatever they've got in stock at the time. Like they're not interested in whether or not what they're doing is any good. Like they're not that.
Yeah.
Anyway, right guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us on TikTok as well. And we will catch you on the next video. So keep an eye on the channel. We've got obviously we'll have the review of this coming out. We've got the Battle of Champions coming soon, where we compare an FL Sun V400 with the Prusa Mark III S Plus Gillette Mac 3 Turbo Elite Plus, whatever it is. Then we've got a Bamboo Labs and an Anchor Make M5. So that's going to be a really interesting video to watch.
And also the sound, the noise recordings about how noisy they are, very interesting.
Yeah, surprising results on the noise on the noise stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We'll catch you on the next video. See you on the next one.
See you later.